Sometimes as bassists, we just need some simple moves to fire up the groove. A shape, a pattern, something that just gets the band locked in fast. I like to call these jam starters. But here's the thing, if you can't hear these patterns, you cannot use them. That's why today I'm going to give you 3 essential pitch patterns, 3 of my favorite little grooves, my favorite jam starters that are easy to learn, super musical, and that are guaranteed to kickstart better ears, better grooves, and better bass instincts. There's a free PDF below to follow along. Let's dig in. So when I first started playing in Chicago, my brother played guitar, my mom was a musician. We would have these jam sessions in my basement, and I would just have to come up with grooves, right? And that really started me on my bass journey and started me developing a few of the things that I'm going to show you today and listening to these things. So let's jump into our first pattern. And actually, this is one of my favorite jam starters. The pattern is the root down to the 6th, dropping down to the 6th, all right? So essentially, if we're in D, we'll just start in D minor for now. If D is my root, I'm dropping down to F, okay? That's my first groove starter, all right? D down to F. Now that's down a major 6th, right? D to F, F to D, right? We're going D to F. Major 6th is the same thing as a minor 3rd, okay? D to F, but we're going down. I can also go D to F sharp if it's a major sort of groove, right? So this is guaranteed to fire up the band and to fire up the groove. You would start with something like this, okay? And then play from there. Okay, but just that move, that D down to that F, or if we did it in major, this is a major tonality, right? Something like that. We got to audiate this and hear this first, right? D to F, za, 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 za. And the problem here, the bass player problem, is oftentimes we confuse D to F, dropping down a major 6th, with dropping down a minor 6th. If we're in D minor, I'm playing major 6th. I'm going down a major 6th, D to F, okay? F to D, the major 6th. If we're in a major tonality, okay, we're dropping down a minor 6th, F sharp to D, D to F sharp. I want you to sing this first and be very intentional about that difference between dropping down the minor 6th to the major 6th. Za, za. And don't confuse that. Don't, fall into this bass player problem of confusing that with this. Okay? Za, 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 za. Now, let's put it in context in a groove. So here we go. First, I'm going to play this over a D minor tonality. Specifically, this is D minor 11. D minor 7th with the 9th and the 11th added. Okay? Dip, dong, boom, boom, ba, boom, ba. Right, now we'll do this with a major tonality. I'm going to play this groove over D major 7th, all right? And I'm going to drop down D to F sharp. Okay, now D to F sharp, dropping down like that, I'm dropping down a minor 6. So I understand that could be a bit confusing. Major tonality, but I'm dropping down a minor 6. D down to F sharp is a minor 6. D up to F sharp is a major 3rd. Let's check it out. Here we go. D major 7th. I'm dropping down D to F sharp, dropping down a minor 6. Notice I'm basically thinking like D major pentatonic stuff when I'm playing these fills, right? I gotta be thinking major materials here. Now this next jam starter is one of my all-time favorites. The first time I heard this when I was, 15 or 16, it was just like I started throwing this into every jam that we had in my parents' basements. I call this the Jocko minor outline because I stole this from Jocko. He does this all the time and you're going to immediately recognize it. It's a minor groove, but what he does is he goes 1, minor third, 7th. I mean, it's like immediately, as soon as I played that, every Jocko reference, every Jocko sound, I'm sure in your brain, in your head, Jocko, my man right here, just jumped into your brain, right? That's so Jocko, right? He did so many variations of it. But again, if you're looking for just a simple jam starter, right, just to get the things going, this always works. Okay, so again, root, minor third, 7th. I could even really go for the Jocko sound by rolling my front pickup totally off. This is really going to help you to start to hear your guide tones. In minor, this is a minor groove. Guide tones are your thirds and your 7ths, right? So D, F minor is my third. That C is my minor 7th, right? So if you sing this, you already are dialing in your guide tones, your thirds and your 7th on a minor 7th chord, and you're getting this kick butt jam starter, all right? Let's groove on this a little bit on a D minor 7th vamp with our backing track. Brought in that first one, first pattern. Boom, 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 1, 3, 7. 1, 3, 7. Jam starter that's guaranteed to fire up the band and dial in your ears when it comes to hearing your minor guide tones, your third and your 7th on a minor tonality. Now the last pattern, the last jam starter I'm going to show you today might be one of the most, if not the most important progression that we have, especially in jazz, all right? And this is the 1-6-2-5. So essentially talking about C, A, D, G, all right? Now, if you can't make your way around a 1-6-2-5 sort of groove and progression, and if you can't hear it, you're always going to struggle, especially if you're playing jazz. Now, with the 1-6-2-5, we can play this for major and minor tonalities. So I might have C, all right? Then I might have A minor 7, and then I might have D dominant 7, D, okay, and then G, some sort of G altered or G dominant 7, okay? But we've got to be able to at least just hear the roots, the root motion of this progression, and really just master this in all keys. This, again, if you're playing jazz, this is just a must know, and you just must be able to play this one. All right, so now we're going to play this with this backing track. This is just a simple 1-6-2-5 backing track in B flat major. And then we can walk it out. So as I said, these are more than just pattern. These are jam starters. Practice playing them, practice singing them, and most of all, hear them before you touch the bass. Grab the free PDF below and let me know in the comments which of these are you playing and what are some other simple patterns that you really enjoy to get the groove going. Remember, if you can't hear it, you can't play it. If you want to learn 3 other key essential patterns that we as bass players need to be able to hear and play, click here.